Hi there, and welcome to this tutorial about Tripetto. In this video we're going to demonstrate how you use simple logic in your forms, to make them smart and personal. Let's have a look at it. For the purpose of this tutorial, we've already prepared some simple questions with various question types. And we've slightly edited the style of our form. We're now going to add some simple logic to each of these questions. And while we're doing that, we can always test the logic in the real-time view of the form, here on the right. For the first example, we have prepared a multiple-choice question to ask the respondent for its country of residence. There's a couple of countries there to choose from. And in case the right country is not on the list, there's also an option called Other Country. In case this option is selected by respondents, we want to show a follow-up to have them enter the missing country. To do so, we set up the follow-up with a so-called branch. We open the context menu of the country question by clicking the dotted icon, and then selecting the desired option for the follow-up, like this. You'll see the branch being created as a separate flow. And at the top of this new flow, the conditions set for this branch are shown. In this case the option called Other Country. Next, we create the actual follow-up question that we want to show the respondents taken through this particular branch. And upon adding the question, we can start typing right away. And after that, select the desired question type. For example, text single line. Meanwhile, everything we're building is shown in real time, here on the right. And we can instantly inspect and test the logic we've just created, by selecting the option for Other Countries, which will take respondents into the freshly added branch. And that's all for adding simple logic to multiple choice questions. For the next example of how to use logic in forms, we have prepared a yes/no question to ask our respondents if they want to subscribe to a newsletter. And in this case, we want separate follow-ups for their yes and no answers. We can actually create both of the desired branches at once, by clicking the dotted icon right here, and selecting the shortcut for all above, and then choosing the option called In Separate Branches. The two separate branches for yes and no are then automatically created, so that we can add the desired follow-ups for each branch. For example, a question to ask for the email of respondents answering with yes. And maybe just a short message for the others answering with no. And again in the meantime, everything we're building is shown continually, here on the right. And we can inspect and test the logic we've just created, by selecting yes or no. So, that's how you apply logic to a yes or no question, to make your form smarter. For the last example of how to use logic in forms, we have prepared a question for evaluating a service, with the rating question type. And as a follow-up, we wish to ask what we can improve, if their rating is 3 stars or lower. We're going to create the required branch for doing this, but in a different way than in the previous example, by clicking the New Branch button at the bottom, right here. This also creates a new branch, but now without any pre-selected answers as the conditions for entering it. To the contrary, you can now manually set the exact conditions yourself. Let's say we want respondents to flow into this branch, if their rating is 1, 2, or 3 stars. We can select these options as the conditions for this branch like this. Now, if the respondents' answers match one of these conditions, they'll be taken into this branch, and the fitting follow-up will be presented to them. In this case, we'll ask respondents for additional feedback through a multiple-line text field, like this. And again, to the right, we can inspect and test the logic we've built by rating 1, 2, or 3 stars, and then seeing the follow-up question instantly appear. Now, let's take the logic for this question one step further. And let's say that we also want to thank any respondent that rates our service with 5 stars. Then of course, we need an additional branch. So let's manually create that, like this. You'll see that it's added next to the other branch automatically. And we can now select the right condition ourselves, the 5-star rating. We now have 2 separate branches for this question. And each branch has its own subsequent follow-up. For the branch with the 5-star rating, we've added a thank you message. You can again inspect and test this additional logic and thank you message in the form on the right. in this case by rating the service with 5 stars. So, that's how you apply logic, with manual conditions, to ratings and many other question types in Tripetto. We hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, just contact us through our website. We're happy to help.